also people online. So to stick to the schedule. So welcome everyone to this special seminar. It is organized in the framework of the Transferable Skills Program of the IPC and CFM. And today we have the pleasure to host Miguel Benitez from the BAS Center for Applied Mathematics. So now I'm going to say things about you, but I'm not sure I'm right on information. So please correct me.
Go ahead.
He's a mathematician by training, and since 2008, is a project manager at the BCAM, where he's involved into the management of projects funded by the European Union, the Spanish Ministry for Science and Innovation, something like this, and the Basque government. And so his role implies all aspects of project management, including notably, giving assistance to researchers in the elaboration of projects, but also the justification, like economic justification and the development of projects reports. And today he's going to talk to us about what open access publishing is like at the BCAM and how they adapted to the new requirements from Europe and also the government. So thank you again for being here. The floor is yours.
So first of all, thank you for inviting me, in particular to Olatz, to give this kind of talk. Well, this is the index of the agenda for today. I will try to introduce to you some words from the funny point of view about the open access and which are running now to change in the world, the scientific world, about the valuation, because at the end, this is the most important thing behind open access. Right? So let me say very fast in less 1 minute about BCAM. BCAM is like the IPC is BAS Excellent Research Center, accredited from 2009, if I remember well. We are part of the BERC network, and from 2013 we have the excellent accreditation several. So this is our partners. The UPB, maybe you know, the Vizcaya government, the Innovas, Petronor, and Ikerbasque. So in the rest of 30 seconds, this is the evolution of the people at BCAM, the researcher and the staff people. We are now around 170 something, and this is some figures about BCAM. So let's go ahead about the open access. First of all, I would like to introduce to you which is the scheme of the open access and which is the ways around when you have your paper. I think that all of the people in the room knows when you have your paper, you can submit, you receive from the journal, probably the acceptance letter, and you can publish. So I like so much this kind of scheme about the open access because it's from research to publish. And it's very important to know that the publication is not only the paper, and it's not only when you finish, when you receive the acceptance letter, and when you have your paper on the journal, not only, also the decision to disseminate and which things are around the publication. For instance, the data sets, very important, the data sets. All of the people probably know that the data sets is the data that you need to develop the article. Usually you have in your laptop, local laptop. You need this data. So this is all also information, very, very important on the publication. And also the possibility to publish in the gold way, on the green way. I will explain to you in the next slides, which is the difference between the gold way and the green way. Okay. And also the decision to exploit. No? This is a physics center, probably is more close to exploit some results of the projects or some results of the article close to the patents and so on. So first of all, I would like to introduce to you which is the green way and the gold way. Usually, usually you're publishing in the gold way. Why? Because you are part of a huge system and a complicated system to publish. And usually you are using your universities, your centers, that they are paying to the big companies. These companies, they have most of the journals, and you don't know, but it's a business. It's a very bad business for us, right? So, but we have also the green way. The green way is the manner to publish something like a free of charge. So, and this is our recommendation to publish using the green way in order to save money for the researchers, for our projects to use in another issues. Why? Because behind of this kind of manner to publish, you are paying, not you as an individual person. The system are paying a lot of times to publish. First of all, you as a PI of one project, you are paying to publish in open access in a way, okay? Secondly, your institution are paying to access to these kind of journals. Thirdly, your regional government is paying on the third time to your institutions to access to another journals. And finally, the final users are paying to access to this kind of papers. So what's happened behind? You are the owner of the results of the paper, but the journal are receiving the money, and they put only a space for your paper, for your knowledge. So this is a perfect business. So they do nothing. You are doing everything of the paper, and the money is for the company. So this is the reason that several time ago, the UK government and then the European Union, they decide to try to find a solution. The solution is a green way. The green way is the manner to publish and to avoid or to save some part of the money on this huge business. Okay, so it's in a definition, right? Self-achievement, so-called green open access to publish the article, your manuscript put in the online repository. You probably know that the UPV, they have, I don't remember the name of the UPV repository, is ADI, with two Ds, ADI. BCAM is BERC, it's the name of, BERC. It's very funny, it's like our logo. And the goal way is paying for publishing. So this is, as I said before, you submit a paper, the journal, your referee say, okay, go ahead, happy with the publication, and you receive a strange email. The editorial board email is something like a poly, right? Nino. I remember that when we started to the open access, I remember the researchers came to my office and say, I don't understand the email. Because if you pay attention on the email, it's very, very hard email. The manner, the lawyers behind the email to write this kind of email to receive, I put on the shoes of the PhDs, and a very long email, something like a disclaimer notes, a disclaimer, it's very hard to understand this kind of legal email. And you say, no, okay, pay, no, yes, open, yeah, because they understand that if they say no to something, the paper will reject it. So this is a manner to approach to the people that don't know what's happening. So this is that I say yes, no, yeah. I'm nervous with the say something like to choose the correct one. And up to date, we have a lot of handbooks related on that. And up to date, we most of the researchers at BCAM came to my office and say, Miguel, I don't know what's happened with this kind of info. But don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. All publications should be in open access, but you can use your institutional repository. This is the manner to fix. How to fix this situation, right? The manner is, first of all, the first document that you have submitted is yours forever. The preprint forever is yours. Okay. So the manner to fix the open access rules is to submit this kind of first document to an institutional repository, your repository, or another repository, okay? Repository identified or recognized by European Commission or FECIT, but then we will talk about FECIT, okay? This is very important. The preprint forever is yours. The document that you submitted, when you have in archive, you finish it, you put on archive, you finish it, your paper, you put on archive, this is forever yours. And then you submit to the journal, you receive the feedback, you are changed, I mean, or changed, whatever. This second document is the company, but the first document is forever yours. How to fix? You can do the changes and then submit the second version to archive, and you are reconverting postprint in preprint again. You know what I mean? So this is the manner to fix, or one of the manner. And for of course, the published version, they put only the logo. This is the only task that they are doing in your paper. Okay? Put the logo.
Can I?
Yes, sure, feel.
Or do I wait for the?
No, feel free to stop me and ask me whatever you. Also, Claire, I don't know. Also, in the chat,
Yes.
if someone needs.
If anyone wants to ask,
Yes.
in the chat.
Sure, please go ahead.
So my question is about the postprint, because I know that some publishers will allow you to put the postprint on archive, but others, I guess, they won't.
Yes, it is. Take care on that. Yes, good question. Let me go ahead to the presentation and I will show you in which place you can check this kind of journal. You can do the postprint, or you can or you cannot. Okay, sure. In the next slides. Any other question?
The other question that I had was about the licenses attached to that postprint.
Yes, it is. It is. I will show you. So the editorials, again, you say Greenway, and you receive a second and third email. Are you sure? Are you plenty sure? This is the manner that they are replying to you in the email. So this is the lawyer manner, okay? Yes, because the editorials, they want to, to take all of the money in around the site. So how to check your rights in the easier manner? Probably in some repositories, if you put the ID of the journal in some repositories, if they are connected to Sherpa Romeo, you can check the color of the each journal. This is very important. It's a different color, right? The green color is you can archive the preprint and postprint. In the blue color, you can archive the postprint and the final draft postprint. Yellow, you can take care. Only the preprint, and white is not formally supported. And red, I think it is not appear here, is you can't archive any version. But this is unusual. This is only in the engineering journals with the patents. So this is unusual. Okay. So let's go ahead. So a mathematician issue, also theoretical physics issue is close to, let me say that we are close to. Archive and open access. Is an archive and open access? Probably no. So we know that from the European Research Council, they consider that the European Research Council, the archive is valid as a repository. But recently, from I think that Horizon 2020, they decide to no. In particular, they are recollecting from archive, but you need an official and recognized repository in the European Union. Because maybe you know, the archive is repository is in US and it's not in the European Union. So yes, you need to recollect on the.
Sorry, just to understand. So if you post your paper on archive, it would not be considered according to the Horizon 2020 programs as an open access resource.
It's not considered that you are what they say, you are fixing the issue on the grant agreement that your paper must be in open access.
Okay, so it's not considered as, yeah.
Yes.
What about the Spanish government?
It's not clear in the Spanish government. Why? Because our law is very flexible on this regard. So they consider that it's not clear, because they consider that open access is put on the published repository and archive they are doing. So at the moment they are in the way that, okay, so far so good, but it's not clear.
Okay. And what if you put your paper on your website?
No.
That doesn't count for anything, right?
On the website, on your personal or your own or your center website too, no, it's not considered open access anymore. Why? Because you can manage, you can close your website. And the objective of the open access is not a requirement, it's in a permanent site that this document will be forever in this kind of
Sure, setting, whatever.
yes.
Okay.
And the repositories, they are one of the requirement to have the repository. So it is something like a website, but it's not a website. It's an software behind, and it's a permanent links. It's something like an archive. What's happening in archive? The only concern related to archive is in US. This is the only concern related to the European Commission, but they are in the US. But they all of the requirements of the European Commission, they are meeting the requirements. So on your website or institutional website, no, it's not open access. Another question?
Two questions. So first of all, what if the institutional website is not a website but a repository, an institutional repository, like
Yes.
the one in CSIC, for example? Is that valid?
As a SIG.
CSIC has a repository.
Yes, it is valid. This is
That's valid.
yes. They appears like a website, but all repositories, they have behind the website some software that this is a permanent link. It is like a DOI link.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And so, and who sets the difference? Let's say, because so who says this is a repository? Who says this is a repository? This is just a website. Who decides that?
Yes, because appears. I can show you. I can show you. I don't know if we have internet. Our repository. BERC. Okay, this is BERC. This is one of the recent article on BERC. I don't know which is from Vincenzo Nava or whatever. So this kind of link, this recollected by FECIT and by European Commission. So automatically, if they can close this kind of system, they have the information, the metadata and the PDF. And if we close the website, BCAM decide to close the website, the click will work.
Yeah. And
This
can we
is
use
a
your,
permanent link, this handle link.
can we use your repository? I can use I can use the one in the SIG. I mean, maybe I can use yours.
Well, we can discuss on that because we have in 2014, if I remember well, during our first several accreditation, we think on that because we have the opportunity to put our collection on the UPB collection in ADVI or to create our own repository. After a lot of discussion on that, we decided to have our own repository. Why? Because it's an independence. It's by an independence. So it's better for us. Why? Because you can use this kind of repository for three important issues. First of all, I can connect automatically our European projects with the European Commission. Our researchers can choose their projects on the submission, and it's automatic on the European Commission participant portal. First of all, and secondly, you can generate your CDN from here. So the idea behind to decide our own repository is to put the paper only one time at BCAM. Another question?
Yeah, I have a question about regarding the date you publish your preprint. Should be published before it is published in the editorial, or can be later?
No, very good question. This is fixed by the Science Act, the science law, our current science law, our Spanish current science law. They say that you have up to 6 months after the submission to publish in a repository. 6 months. 6 months. You have up to 6 months in the moment that your paper is accepted.
To submit it or to put it into a repository?
Yes.
Okay.
We have another system behind. Is we have connected. We are using the one of the license to Scopus. It's not so cheap to use the Scopus license to keep all of metadata, and if you put the ORCID your DOI number is automatically pre-filled, except the PDF. This is fantastic for the researcher because the idea behind is to fill only one time. So also the abstract. Yes. Oh,
So-
very, very funny.
Sorry. When the researcher wants to publish and submit put the postprint in your repository
Or preprint.
or preprint, he or she must first comply with the policy of the publisher, right? So they must be sure that they can do it. And when you
They and ourselves. I will show you which is the process because I am reviewing all of applications in order to meet properly the requirements of the article.
Exactly,
Yes.
because it's
And
not
al-
so easy.
And also I can put on the journal, I can put on the application as a yellow, I mean, I can reflect the rights of the journal in order to show the PDF only to the BCAM people that they have username and password here. And the embargo to reflect the embargo on the website. I can do too. So it is very funny. And also for the report, I mean, when we work for the European projects report or national projects or whatever, or also for the BERC, also when we receive the visit of our scientific advisory committee, and so we use this this is our list, the BERC list.
And about the dates, that I think this is very important because in my mind, the researcher has to deposit a copy of the final version, accepted manuscript, at the same time of the publication. This is according to the Spanish science law. So this, when you said the 6 months, this I didn't fully understand what you meant, because I thought that you have to have it submitted, deposited at the latest at the time of publication.
Yes, this is the law, but the law said something in the next paragraph. This is very good. This is welcome to Spain. So they said something hard, but the next is something flexible. And in particular, we are following the indication on the National Call for Projects, EID, National Call for Projects for the. Well, we say Proyectos del Ministerio, but this is Agencia Estatal de Investigación Projects. So, because on the call, they say, as I said, 6 months after the acceptance letter. So we are following this kind of restriction. Also, this is the European Union restriction, is a little bit flexible. So at the moment, no one, because I was part of the national, what they say, national strategy of open access. I was part of the committee, and we know that it's very hard that something appears on the law, but they say, and we say, that follows the national call for projects, the restriction on that is 6 months. You do the European Union. So usually the manner to approach is as follows. In the moment that appears the publication on the metadata on Scopus, is the moment that we remind, because it's the moment that the journal communicate the data to the databases, Scopus and other Web of Science and so on. And this is the moment that we remind to the researchers that this is the moment to upload the PDF. But let me come back to the. Any other question? Any other question? Yes, this is as I said, Archive is not considered institutional repository, and it is mandatory from 2013. So pay for publish. This is an important question related to the projects. Pay for publish, it is eligible. Well, recently in the SOMA network, maybe you know, in Spain we have a network of Severo Ochoa and María Maestro network, and we have had a meeting in Palma de Mallorca last year, and we had the opportunity to talk to Lourdes Armesto. She is the head of the department in the Agencia Estatal de Investigación in the project Severo Ochoa and so on. And they are thinking, maybe you know, from 2 or 3 years ago calls, they are requesting on the budget the salaries, the cost of specific category on the publication cost. Why? Because they are thinking to reduce the money to cover by the projects. In fact, the European Commission, they are saying that only if the publication is 100% related to the project is eligible on that, but not the rest. And for instance, if you have some researchers covered 100% to the project that they are publishing, all publication should be by this project, but not for the other projects. So the project officer, they are taking care on that. So our issue is to take care on that. In parallel of this kind of open access, the bad news, maybe you know, you are a researcher, is the predatory journal. So this is the opposite side of the good issue related to the open access. So first of all, take care with the predatory journals. At the moment, we haven't any full complete list of predatory journals, but only we know this kind of information. I will share these slides, but it is very important. The bill list is enough. It's something like 80%. And my suggestion is if you have time to take time to read this Nature article on that. So usually we know that we learn this kind of issue that this kind of predatory journals all on bill list, they are using artificial intelligence for review. This is the reason that they are it's very fast. I mean, something like a ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever to review the papers, your work. So take care on that.
Sorry, I'm not sure I fully understand the first point.
Mm.
So what do you mean if it's optional, if it's mandatory, that it has to
Well,
be?
this is a BCAM policy, forget it. This is
Okay.
because this is, well, we decide if it is optional, it's not, I mean, if
What do you mean if it's optional?
this is very good question. I will explain. If you receive an email from the journal or you check on Serpa Romeo that this kind of journal is optional to pay, I mean, you can choose to green way or gold way, is not eligible on BCAM because the paper is automatically following the BCAM policy. You can put on BERC and it's automatic on Greenway, and we cannot cover any cost.
So it's not eligible in the sense that BCAM would not cover the cost
Yes.
of publication?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And then if it's mandatory in the sense that the journal requires you to pay,
Yes.
then BCAM revises if it's
We will pay.
Okay, all right. Okay, thanks. And you said that some fundings only would recover what is really linked to the project, right?
Yeah, and to the center.
Right.
And when you say that BCAM will not pay, you mean that BCAM will not pay from BCAM's money or from your project's money?
Well, with BCAM's, I mean, the PI is the head of the project. So if the head say yes, with the same, I mean, the projects, I mean, the PI can decide if they can do or if they can do or not, because at the end, he or she is in charge to defend this kind of cost on the reporting on the project. But we are talking about the structural funds.
And when you say BCAM will pay, that means that if the gold way is the only way,
Yes.
BCAM will cover the costs of publication. No matter
Yes,
what.
we are reviews. I mean, it's a little bit more complicated because they have a budget, and depending on the budget on the lines and so on and so on. But at the moment, you can apply to request this kind of cost.
In any case, did you find any case where the green way is not enough? And it is required by, I don't know which project, to go the gold way? You see what I mean? I usually do the green way. I publish everything on archive, I publish everything on. Sometimes I choose a journal where it is mandatory to pay, and then I pay and this and that. But I'm happy with the green way. But is there any project, let's say the national PID or whatever, where they tell you, no, green way is not enough because of this?
No.
So green way is fine.
Yeah, so excuse me. So in fact, in the European Commission, there European Commission and the Agencias Estatales de Investigación, they are very happy on that because at the end the repository is connected. I will show you them with FECIT, and they want the issue is maybe if you know, they are something like a crazy to the acknowledgement on the PID project that they are obligated to you to put the DOI number is something like let me to say in Spanish chorizo. It's a very long text on the to put DOI / PID / whatever. Under Ramón y Cajal, Severo Ochoa accreditation, PID project, Juan de la Cierva, in all of the grants. So this is connected to the repositories. And they want to recollect from FECIT and to check that if you said in your reporting that you have certified publication, that this is true or not. So this is they have something like a machine to recollection on information. More questions?
For me, it is obvious that green way is the best way. You don't want to be paying money to just make this publishing business bigger. The issue that I find is one, when you publish green, you need to make sure that you're allowed to publish green, right? So
Yes.
This is the first thing that you as the manager, you check that this specific journal allows this.
This is.
When we go through the archive route, which you said it's not completely like the trusted repository, but that's what our researchers do normally, we don't have this step. So we are maybe putting postprint on archive that we do not have permission to put, depending on the publisher. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, and this is a question, so from the interpretation of the laws, European and Spanish, we understand that there must be, that the author must retain copyright, so that the license of the journal must be, the author must be the owner of the journal, specifically in the commission under CC BY license. So if you're not complying with that, you're actually not complying with the law. So maybe you have your postprint on archive, but you are not the owner. Even if you're the author, you are not the owner because you have, how do you say, you have transferred copyright to the publisher. So yes, it is open access, but you are not retaining your rights. So you are not really complying with what the law says. How do you cope with that?
Well, okay. First of all, step by step. All repositories, they have something, the role of librarian, that this role disappear on archive. This is other reason. This is a validation, right? Well, first of all, sorry, because all of the faces are something like a man, but this is a Microsoft, logos, and we put something like a woman. So excuse me that are using a non-gender issue, but I put clearly this that I need to review this kind of logos, right? So, well, the thing is, in the validation, you can check this kind of rights, okay? So secondly, if you as a PI or as a researcher of one project, you are not using the repository and you're using only the archive, I mean, as a center, nothing to say. I mean, it's on the responsibility on the PI, on the head of this department, on the PI of the project, or whatever, because the responsibility is to to meet the requirement of the grant agreement, first of all, is the PI. So if some researcher on the one project, they are using Archive without any validation, and they are, putting or not putting or whatever, is up to them, not up to us as a center, first of all, because they have the manner to be green way on the publication. Secondly, regarding this kind of specific case that you have in a journal, this journal you can't publish because you have something like embargo, right? An embargo, let's say 12 months of embargo because it's in a yellow journal. Okay, we can manage this kind of issues, as I said before, on the repository. I can put embargo. I can communicate to the project officer that they have an embargo, but is connected automatically, as I said, with the European Commission, with OpenAir, and automatically on the project officer, because the project officer can check and view this kind of PDF. And after the embargo, is automatically free of charge. So this specific case, I mean, in my case, I have only one case, in one project, only one paper in this kind of case. I communicate automatically very fast to the project officer, and she said, okay, Miguel, put out the embargo in your repository, nothing happens, I can check, I can view the PDF, go ahead. My suggestion is talk to the project officer, because the project officer at the end is the person that they can respond case by case. But usually is, the 90 in BCAM, the 99% of the publication are is green journals in mathematics and applied mathematics. It's a green, yes, usually. Only close to engineering are yellow. Some of the journals generally are green. So it is clear. So, well, as I said, this is a submission workflow. Put the document, the supervision receive the notification, nothing, the supervisor, nothing to say. The librarian, I am the librarian, check the librarian too, check if meet or not meet. It's not, take like 30 seconds, because our repositories are connected, as I said, to Sherpa Romeo, and appears automatically the color of the journal is click, 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 and so simple. And go ahead to the BERC and automatically on OpenAir. And this is so funny, as I said before, because for our researcher appears on the project, on the tab of justification, reporting, follow-up European projects. Well, this is, as I said, accepted version, postprint or preprint, depending on the color. Avoid to use with the logos, only the manuscript format. This is the things that I said all the time. And well, I would like to introduce this kind of very important issue, transformative agreements. This is a very recent and not so clear process on the previous years, and I think now probably will be more clear. The transformative agreement is a new modality of the whole Spain. Here in the Basque Country is the UPV, the entity that they are signatory on the transformative agreement, and they are on the process to renew. The transformative agreements is an agreement between the Consejo Superior de Investigaciones Científicas and the CRUE. The CRUE is the universities. This is an association of most of the universities in the whole Spain, with some big companies, Elsevier, Springer, Willy. They made a prepayment to this kind of companies for the next 4 years, and now they are in negotiation to renew. And the novelty for now is our centers can be part of the negotiation. I think so, BERCs, and I suppose to fix. And the current transformative agreement that you have here is through the UPV. And the thing is to use the transformative agreement, the issue is the UPV affiliation must be the first affiliation that appears on the paper. So this is an automatic also, you know what I mean? Okay, I think it's clear. So, and this isn't a Galway. I mean, if you go back to the definition, it's in a Galway on the Galway manner. So, if you have any question about these transformative agreements, no questions. Okay, I have some slides. I think, but Olatz commented to me that it's not. I mean, probably ORCID, General Citation Report. Probably, you know how it works, right? This is the things, and also maybe about the Q1, D1, C1, and so on. But remember about the editorials. This is a very good business for them, not for us. Okay. And you're right. So finally, I would like to suggest to you, you have something like 30 minutes in your home to see the paywall video. It is free of charge. And also my suggestion is to distribute to in particular your PhD students, because maybe it's in a good collective that they know as well how it works. Paywall video is a very good video to show you which is the business of this kind of companies. And it's from 2018, if I remember well. So that's it. I don't know if we have cleared some questions.
In the chat, no. But if there are any questions left here.
Yes.
Do you also use your repository for the data?
Yes, very good question. This is the second level. Maybe in particular from the European Commission, if I remember well, from 5 years ago in the national level, from 3 years ago, they requested the data management plan. The data management plan is a plan that you need to use the data from your project. So maybe that you have some research and you have some Excels with a lot of data, and you believe that this data in your local laptop. No, we have also the option to publish the data related to the article, and it is connected with the article in order to be fair data. Fair data is you can use also the paper, but the data behind the paper, in order to be more transparent on the results of the project. So yes, our repository we have for the data sets collection.
Yeah, I was going to ask a similar things connected to the data. I mean, if there are details on, also going back to what you just said, you publish the data linked to the paper, but it could be the points that are used to create a figure, could be the raw data that need a lot of processing to get to these points. So are there guidelines of what should be published or not?
Yes, but no guidelines, because at the moment we believe that should be on the data management plan per each project, because depending on the project, and in particular depending on the objective of the project, should be in one manner or other manner. For instance, we have had I don't remember now, a FED Open, maybe you know, the European Commission project, FED Open project. On the FED Open, if I remember well, we tried to design something, and the project was something like a connected to engineering, and we have in the data management plan 2 points of view of the data. First of all, the data as a simulation, and secondly, the real data. And so depending on the result of the project that you want to looking for, the perspective is a little bit different. So I try to say that you need first of all to design which is the objective of the project, then the expected data, and then when you have the data on the paper, to publish this kind of data. I mean, it's something like a strategy to publish, right? I don't know if this is clear.
But who evaluates this data? There is someone in the, for example, now in the reports of the Plan Nacional, we have to write this data management plan. Who reviews that? There is now a special commission in the ministry?
I don't know, but Lourdes Armesto, the head of the Agencia Estatal de Investigación, she want to create something like a committee.
Okay.
But in the European Commission, our experience is the project officer, is the person in charge to review the data management plan and the data on the papers, on your repository that you are declaring on the report. So, and this is I want to say, the project officer check the data management plan, and you need to update the data. This is the reason that I believe that the manner that the Agencia Estatal de Investigación, they are requesting the data management plan is not enough. Why? Because they requested only one time. And I think that you need an update version on the submission, on the midterm, on the final report, because depending on the result of the project, the point of view can change.
Don't suggest that, otherwise we have to.
Yes, I believe that the researcher point of view that this is something like a management issue, but it's not a management issue. This is what I want to say. So this is a real situation, because depending on the objective that you want, depending on the expected impact of your project, the data can change because it's a different point of view. So you need to explain at the beginning of the project, which is the expected results. So, and the manner to project this kind of issue is on the data management plan, but depending on the evolution of the project, maybe can change. So this is the reason that for the European project, usually they request as a deliverable 3 times, at the beginning, on the midterm, the final report on the data management plan.
On the data management plan, you will say my data will be in Zenodo, let's say, or in my institutional repository. But you're not saying this is the DOI of my data and look, you can go and check it, right? So when the committee or the people at the Agencia Estatal de Investigación want to check where your data is, where do they go? Because so far, the data management plan says we will put it in the Zenodo, or we have put it in Zenodo, but that's it. There is not real.
Very good question. The data management plan, maybe this is another person, but very, very good question. So the data management plan is not a strategy to publish. But when you report your results, is the moment that you put the same manner that you put the paper, you need to put no, and the related data of this paper is on this permanent link on Zenodo. So it's continente and contenido. So
Expected researchers at your institution, they do this. They already put all the data and the link to BERC.
yes,
Okay.
or Zenodo,
Yeah.
depending on the data that they have.
And do you expect that in the ministry to be very
Check.
strict about this? Because so
I
far,
don't know. We are
Are they-
reporting, we receive a positive evaluation and we say happy, but I don't know. I don't know at them. I don't know how they are. I don't know, first of all, if they have persons with the knowledge to evaluate it, firstly, and secondly, usually we take the national point of view, but forget it. Put your mind on the European level. The thing is, put your mind on the European level. Why? Because in the European Commission, I know that they have a very good person that they can evaluate the data management plan on the data. And in particular, the project officer, they can do, and they are doing. So my suggestion is put your attention on the instruction on the European Commission. And if the European Commission said, okay, the data management plan should be in 3 times, it's like a 3 picture. My suggestion is, I'm sorry, to request that, not to request officially by email, okay, PI, do it. No, it's something like an informal conversation. Okay, you requested this, something changed. Yes, because I expected to something like that. I expected to this kind of result, but not yet. Probably this change and this data in this paper. Something like informal in a coffee conversation, you can take the information that you need for the national level. At the European Commission, of course, you can do. You should do. But the issue is to have the information on your own.
I had a question about the preprint post-print situation. So
Yes.
when I submit the paper to the journal, in principle, I'm still retaining the copyright of the archive version, for example.
You say you put the copyright on the PDF.
No, I mean, if I submit, let's say that I put my preprint on the archive.
Mm-hmm.
If the license is CC BY, whatever, the copyright still belongs to me.
Yes.
So can the journal prevent me to put the version after the referee revision? I still, like, the copyright of the thing is still mine, so I could modify the document as I see fit.
Well, they can do, of course, but
legally, how can they, like, prevent me to modify a document that I own?
yes, this is the issue. I mean, you can modify the document because you're the owner of the document.
Yeah,
And you can have the document and upload the version 2, the version 3, or
exactly.
the version that you need. Of course, this is the issue because they have a lot of papers. And recently, maybe you know the increased list of the papers in the world is something like a exponential in the exponential. It is impossible to check your specific paper about your specific topic in this specific journal. That you change something like a 1 comma. So it is impossible to follow your changes. And this is the reason that my suggestion usually is, okay, the post-print, if you want, you can convert in archive as a preprint. Is legal? Probably no. But
Well, no, my point
is
my point is that I'm not sure that it's illegal because
this is illegal, probably.
that's like, if it's a document, I can change it
Yes, it
as I see
is.
fit. So
And in particular, archive is on US. Again, it's not in Europe. So
So the response from American Physical Society on this matter was that the author accepted manuscript, which is the postprint, unless you pay for the APCs, for the article processing charge, it's actually the publishers. But what he's saying, I understand, is that, I mean, you can change your preprint, which belongs to you, and it's still yours, right? So you can always put the postprint in a repository. I think this could be argued, or maybe you could also take a comma out. That wouldn't be the publishers anymore, right?
yeah,
I don't know.
from my point of view, it's illegal.
Illegal.
illegal. Yeah.
But at the moment we receive in BCAM has 17 years. We receive any visit from any journal company to say something. But I say in mathematics, in pure and applied mathematics, from Sherpa Romeo list, most of the journals are green. So I think that they believe the mathematics is not important for their business, for the money business. Okay, any other question related to the data management plan? So feel free. So it is very important because the data management plan appears here. And again, it is very important to deposit the data, the data related to the project on